Getting out of the car feels harder for millions of adults over 50, but most people never realize why it's happening until everyday movement suddenly feels frustrating. Have you noticed more stiffness after sitting? Do your hips feel tighter after driving? Does standing up from the driver's seat feel slower, weaker, or less stable than it used to? The surprising part is that this usually has less to do with getting old and more to do with mobility after 60, hip mobility, balance, leg strength, and how the body adapts to sitting over time. And here's what most people miss. Getting out of the car is actually one of the clearest daily tests of healthy aging. Because in just a few seconds, your body has to rotate, stabilize, balance, activate the legs, and stand up smoothly, all at once. So if getting out of the car feels harder over time, your body may be sending early warning signs about mobility, strength, flexibility, and independence after 60. In this video, we're breaking down the 4 biggest reasons this happens, and more importantly, what older adults can do to stay active, mobile, and confident for years to come. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We post 2 new videos every week here on Senior Strategy focused on healthy aging, mobility after 60, balance, strength, and staying independent as you age. Reason number 1. Hip mobility slowly decreases. Hip mobility is one of the biggest reasons getting out of the car becomes harder over time. And this matters because getting out of the car puts the hips into one of the most demanding movement positions many seniors perform all day. Think about it. You're sitting low. Your hips are bent. Your legs are compressed. Then suddenly, your body has to rotate, stabilize, and push upward. That requires healthy hip mobility, flexibility, balance, and leg strength. But long periods of sitting can slowly tighten the hip flexors and reduce rotational movement. That's why many adults over 60 notice stiffness after sitting, especially after driving longer distances. And the lower the vehicle sits to the ground, the harder this movement often becomes. What's important to understand is that reduced hip mobility doesn't usually happen overnight. It builds slowly through years of reduced movement, prolonged sitting, and avoiding activities that challenge flexibility and functional movement. The encouraging news is that hip mobility is one of the fastest things older adults can often improve with consistent movement and mobility exercises for seniors. Even simple walking, gentle stretching, and daily movement habits can begin restoring better motion surprisingly quickly. Reason number 2. Leg strength quietly declines. Standing up from a seated position requires far more strength than most people realize. In fact, many experts consider the ability to stand up easily one of the strongest signs of functional movement and independence after 60. The problem is that muscle loss accelerates with age when strength training and daily movement decrease. And unfortunately, modern life encourages sitting far more than movement. Over time, the quadriceps, glutes, and stabilizing muscles become weaker. So instead of standing smoothly, many seniors begin rocking forward, pushing off the steering wheel, grabbing the door frame, or using momentum to compensate. At first, these changes feel small, but over time they can affect confidence, balance, mobility, and overall healthy aging. This is why senior strength training matters so much. Not bodybuilding, not extreme workouts, just simple movements that help older adults maintain leg strength, balance after 60, and the ability to move independently. And here's something many people don't realize. The body still responds to strength training after 60, 70, and even beyond. Muscles can still adapt. Balance can still improve. Mobility can still improve. That's one of the most important messages we talk about here on Senior Strategy. Reason number 3. Balance and stability become less automatic. And this one surprises many people. Because getting out of the car is actually a balance exercise. Think about the movement carefully. One foot steps outside first. Your body rotates. Weight shifts unevenly. You push upward while turning. That requires coordination, stability, reaction time, and balance. And balance after 60 often becomes less automatic if the body isn't consistently challenged. This is especially noticeable in uneven parking lots, sloped driveways, icy conditions, or tight parking spaces. Sometimes people think they're dealing with weakness when they're actually experiencing reduced stability and slower reaction time. And for many older adults, the emotional effect becomes just as important as the physical effect. Because once confidence drops, movement hesitation often increases. People begin avoiding movement, avoiding stairs, avoiding walking distances, avoiding uneven ground. But avoiding movement usually accelerates mobility decline instead of slowing it down. That's why daily movement habits are so important for healthy aging. Walking, balance exercises, gentle strength training, functional movement practice. All of these help retrain the body to stay stable and confident. Now, before we get to reason number 4, if you're finding this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and join us. We post 2 new videos every week focused on mobility after 60, healthy aging, balance, flexibility, joint health, and staying active as you age. Reason number 4. The body gets stiffer after sitting. This may be the most relatable reason of all. Many adults say they feel fine before driving somewhere, but stiff the moment they stand up. During prolonged sitting, circulation slows down. Muscles cool and tighten. The lower back stiffens. The hips tighten. The knees and ankles lose mobility temporarily. And when the body suddenly has to stand and stabilize, movement feels awkward and restricted. This is especially common in adults over 50 and over 60 because tissues naturally become less elastic with age unless they're challenged consistently through movement. The key word here is consistently. Not perfectly. Consistently. Because healthy aging is less about extreme workouts and more about daily movement habits repeated over time. And this is one of the biggest mindset shifts older adults can make. The goal is not moving like you're 20 again. The goal is preserving independence after 60, being able to move confidently, get out of the car easily, walk safely, travel comfortably, stay active with family, and continue enjoying everyday life. That's what real functional movement is about. And the earlier people respond to these small warning signs, the easier it often becomes to maintain mobility and strength long-term. Because small problems ignored for years usually become bigger limitations later. But small improvements repeated daily can completely change the direction of healthy aging. Walking more, sitting less, practicing balance, improving hip mobility, building leg strength, staying active after 60. These simple habits compound over time, and the body responds remarkably well when given the opportunity to move again. So if getting out of the car feels harder over time, don't ignore it. Your body may simply be asking for more movement, more strength, better mobility, and more consistent daily activity. And the good news is that improvement is still possible. Even small daily changes can help older adults move better, feel stronger, and stay independent longer. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below and tell us which everyday movement feels harder than it used to. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We post 2 new videos every week here on Senior Strategy focused on healthy aging, mobility after 60, balance, strength, flexibility, and staying active for life.